There's kind of a split between the Trump administration and the Israeli government, Netanyahu specifically.
The war on Gaza, which Trump wants wrapped up. I mean, he said even before he was sworn into office, he'd called Netanyahu and told him to end it, finish the military action, wrap this up. Netanyahu hasn't done it, and Steve Witkoff, the president's personal envoy in Israel on Sunday, told the families of hostages, reportedly, that the president has concluded that Netanyahu wants to prolong the war, not bring it to an end.
It's no secret that Trump does not like Bibi Netanyahu. That's pretty obvious, you know? In fact, some say that there really isn't a room big enough in the entire world to house those two gigantic egos at the same time.
Israel's not really involved with anything that's happening in the Gulf or with the direct negotiations between the USA and Iran. And that is because Trump does not trust Netanyahu.
And the way it is that Netanyahu had from 1995 onward the theory that the only way we're going to get rid of Hamas and Hezbollah is by toppling the governments that support them. That's Iraq, Syria, and Iran.
So we'll see what happens, but we're in very serious negotiations with Iran for long-term peace.
Be careful supporting this U.S.-backed war crime in Israel, if in fact it happens. Speak up now. Let saner voices prevail here, or we are going to have hell on earth for the next generation to deal with. Somebody, somewhere, should be suggesting we tap the brakes, don't you think?
But now we're dealing with Hamas, and we're dealing with Iran, and we're dealing with a lot of other things. We're dealing with the Houthis, and that was, I think, very successful, so it's good. It's good. We have a lot of things happening, a lot of very positive things happening.
So here we go. Yeah, fools rush in where angels fear to tread. I'm sorry, but you know, we get such great feedback from you guys, people all over the world, Catholics, non-Catholics, telling us you get the fear, you're not afraid, you say it like it is. Okay, fine, that's beautiful, thank you for that. But it's times like these, I think, where you have to sort of decide, are you going to actually try to provide some leadership or some insight, or at least a discussion that's going to help people or not? So I know what the prevailing wisdom is right now. The war drums are rattling again, right? Don't say anything. Don't get involved, because people are going to come after you, because people's emotions are through the roof, because people have seen dead babies again. People have seen dead party goers again. They're watching the TV and they're seeing horrible things and they're saying, well, whoever did this needs to die right now. We're doing it once again. So I respect you, this audience, enough to just more or less assume that you want to get serious about what's really happening here. And I'm not an expert. I don't pose as an expert on the Middle East, but we've been watching this situation for an awful long time, right? It's not even like Ukraine. The thing happened in Ukraine, everybody's like, ooh, Fiddler on the Roof, Anatevka, there are cows in gravel roads getting bombed by those evil Russians. I get that. We didn't know. But in this situation, in the Middle East, we all grew up with this. This has been going on forever. So please don't use October 7th, 2023 as the thing that makes you decide where you're going to come down on this, because this is huge and it could lead to world war, right? Obviously. Much more easily could this lead to world war than the Ukrainian situation. Europe didn't seem too willing. Even Poland's backed out, right? And this one's different. So Republicans and Democrats are behind this thing. And this fool, Joe Biden, now he wants us, you and me, to give $74 billion to support the continued slaughter of civilians in Ukraine. That's been going on since 2014, right? And also now to begin to finance Israel's, what many, including the United Nations, are calling ethnic cleansing of Palestine. Is everybody okay with that? Are you okay with that? Because you know what you're listening to, right? The talking heads on TV, they tell us that it's our patriotic duty to get behind this. But these are the same folks, the same talking heads that told us just a couple years ago to trust the science. To get the thing. Mask up, remember? And now we're all like, ha ha ha, we'll never fall for that again. But hold on a second, I want to change my avatar to an Israeli flag. Because they told you to on TV. Now I get it. Hamas attacked and killed innocent people, civilians. Anybody who does that should pay. But does justice for that mean that you and I have to back retaliatory war crimes against 2 million Palestinians, half of whom are children? I would say surely we can agree that there's a better way of taking out Hamas than the evacuation of 2 million innocent people and bombing hospitals. And if this puts me on the side of AOC, so be it. You, my critics, are on the side of Joy Behar. Who cares? What difference does it make? Don't let the media polarize us here. Let's be done with the guilt by association, and let's use our heads and let's use our Christian consciences here. Because we learned something during COVID, didn't we? We learned not to trust the TV. At least we learned that much. And what are they saying on TV right now? What are they telling us? They're telling us that we need to hate, you and I. We need to hate the people they tell us on TV to hate, and if we don't, then we're the haters. Well, that's how Holocausts happened. You start talking about scorching earth and getting rid of entire communities. That's how Holocausts happen. Did we learn absolutely nothing? You see, because I don't hate on command. Do you? Do you hate people because the guy on TV told you to? Showed you some pictures of dead babies and then said, okay, now hate them for this. And you're like, well, yeah, in this case, I guess the TV's telling me the truth. I got the goods, man. I know exactly what's going on there. Sorry, friends. My conscience won't allow me to do that, nor will my conscience allow me to support Lindsey Graham's ethnic cleansing plan.
We're in a religious war here. I am with Israel. Do whatever the hell you have to do to defend yourself. Level the place.
That's right, Lindsey. Let's level the place, and maybe whoever survives our leveling, we can put them on cattle cars, right? Get them onto a camp somewhere. By the way, isn't Lindsey Graham the same clown who promised Ukraine that he was going to level Russia? How's that working out so far, Senator Neocon? Level them. Level the place. Well, why not? They're just a bunch of Muslim terrorists in Palestine, right? You see, friends, look at these people here. You know what? They're Palestinians. They're Palestinians too. They kind of look like us, don't you think? Chapel veils, icons of Jesus, going to church. These are Christians living in Gaza. Now, at the moment, with the backing of your country and mine, they're evacuating their homes. They're going to be homeless soon. Some of them are going to be dead later on today. Some of these people right here. You okay with that? Please, please, please. I know you've been watching your TV, those who are critics, and you're going to come in here and you're going to say that I'm trying to justify Hamas and that I'm anti-Semitic and I don't think that Israel has the right to defend itself. What's the matter with you, man? Right? You've been watching your TV. Congratulations. Because the reality is I'm not justifying anything Hamas did. And anyone who targets civilians needs to be punished. I get that. But is that what's going on here? Because we better make darn sure that's what's going on before we get behind it, before we start financing it, before we stand before the judgment seat of Almighty God and say, yeah, I was all for it, man. Level the place. Carpet bomb the cockroaches. This didn't start on October 7, 2003. You know, we think we got it bad right now because the Latin Mass is being canceled and woe is us. We have to go find a Mass somewhere further. We got to drive further. Here's what Christians in Gaza go through when they want to go to Mass over in Jerusalem. And this has been going on for all my life, for years. This is exactly why there's been a mass exodus of Christians from the Holy Land all my life.
Palestinian Christians, once a powerful minority, are becoming the invisible people, squeezed between a growing Muslim majority and burgeoning Israeli settlements. Israel has occupied the West Bank for 45 years.
If you see what's happening in the West Bank, you will find that the West Bank is becoming more and more like a piece of a Swiss cheese, where Israel gets the cheese, that is the land, the water resources, the archaeological sites, and the Palestinians are pushed in the holes behind the walls.
But we're not supposed to pay any attention to that. As patriotic Americans, right, we're supposed to call for the carpet bombing of their homeland too now. We're supposed to get behind that.
I tell my brothers and sisters from other nations, Christians, I tell them to support us. My name is Sandy Kumsiya. I'm a Christian Palestinian. We are here in Bethlehem. It's really sad here. We want peace, of course we want peace, but we want a balanced peace and fair peace.
And the really weird thing about this, friends, if you dig into it just a little bit, where it gets really bizarre, Twilight Zone, Rod Serling's going to come walking in here, is when you realize that we're not, as Christians, we're not supposed to say one word in the defense of these people because, well, we need to get raptured.
Many evangelicals believe that once Jews fully control the land, Jesus will return to earth and rapture Christians up to heaven.
The title deed to the land of Israel is recorded in the Bible, which gives the Jewish people a clear and unclouded title to that land forever. It belongs to them, and it belongs to them only.
People that share this view are called Christian Zionists. They believe the Bible commands them to support and defend the modern-day state of Israel, regardless of what this means for the Palestinians who live under its occupation.
Now there are millions and millions of devout Christians who stand with Israel. So I want to thank you on behalf of all the people of Israel.
Thank God not everybody agrees with the Christian Zionists. Thank God many, many Jews, some of whom are living in Israel, some of whom are Holocaust survivors, thank God those Jews are not being silent about what's really going on here.
But I'm personally a Holocaust survivor. My grandparents were killed in Auschwitz, and most of my extended family was killed. That's my personal background. In my teenage years in Canada, I became a Zionist. This dream of the Jewish people resurrected in their historical homeland, and the barbed wire of Auschwitz being replaced by the boundaries of a Jewish state with a powerful army. I found it liberating. It was exhilarating to believe in that dream. And then I found out that it wasn't exactly like that. That in order to make this Jewish dream a reality, we had to visit a nightmare on the local population. And there's no way you could have ever created a Jewish state without oppressing and expelling the local population, which is what they did. It's the longest ethnic cleansing operation in the 20th and 21st centuries. It's still going on. Given those conditions, of course people will go for extremist leadership. That's what people do when they're miserable and hopeless and deprived of any possibility whatsoever. You don't have to support Hamas policies to stand up for Palestinian rights. That's a complete falsity. Now, is it true that the Gazans shoot rockets into Israel, killing innocent civilians? Yes, it is. Do I support that? No, I don't. I just wish your Zionist friend would visit the occupied territories in Gaza like I have, and let him speak the way he speaks now. If he's got any ounce of humanity left, he would cry like I did for 2 weeks when I was there. It's always a complex question, but in terms of power and control, and it's pretty straightforward. There was a land with the people living there, and other people wanted it. They took it over, and they continue to take it over, and they continue to discriminate against, oppress, and dispossess that other people. That's what happened, and that's what's happening.
And it just keeps going. In the wake of the Hamas attacks of October 7th, Israel cut off all food supplies, medicine, water, electricity, and next to go will be the sewer systems. Now, even if every person in Gaza were a Muslim, is that okay? Are we okay with that? Is it okay for us to hate all Muslims because of what a few nutters did? To hate them all to that degree? Kill them all! Exterminate the cockroaches! Really? That's you? What is happening to us? Don't you understand? This is what the globalists do. It's what they spend every waking moment doing, trying to get us all to this point, get the whole world to this point. They're destabilizing the world by turning us all against each other. For what? Almost 2,000 years, Muslims, Christians, Jews lived in the Holy Land, mostly in peace. But then the globalists got involved, and it's been a bloodbath ever since. Gee, I wonder why. Even if you could kill every Muslim in Gaza, and I've heard people, man, Sean Hannity fans, that's basically what they sound like they want to do. Kill every single Muslim in the area. Even if you could do that, you could kill every single one, which you can't. Well, this US-backed war crime is going to trigger every Muslim youth in the world, especially in America, to hate us for years to come. So those of you who are like, well, I'm siding with Israel because, man, those Muslims don't like us. Do you really think this is going to help? Carpet bombing their homeland again? Just like we did in Baghdad back in 2003, the shock and awe. That worked out pretty well, didn't it? Every Christian, Iraqi Christian now, lives up in Europe somewhere. Refugees blown out of their home because they were liberated by us. Liberated by the democracy people. You think this is going to help? If you're afraid of Muslims, man, be careful supporting this US-backed war crime in Israel, if in fact it happens. Speak up now. Let saner voices prevail here, or we are going to have hell on earth for the next generation to deal with.
Hey, Michael Matt here. You tired of those annoying ads cluttering up our YouTube videos? We are too. Start watching our show at the totally ads-free remnant-tv.com.